All right, howdy folks. This is Drew from Authentic Primitive Living. I'm gonna be making a groundhog bowstring today. So this is a piece of groundhog hide. This is the shoulder section, so the head would be up here. And I've already cut away the lower part of the hide. I prefer this upper portion. One of the things that groundhog really has going for it, I don't know if you can see too well, those very fine pores. It's got a really even uniform grain pattern. And I haven't done any sanding on this. What you can do is this thicker area, you want to get this an even thickness as you can. But you can actually take sandpaper or just rub it on some sandstone or something and actually shave down and sand down these thicker spots so you get nice even uniform thickness. I'm just gonna wing it and go for it on this one. I feel like it's pretty even because I tried to take this, I believe, 10-inch circle out of, you know, the most upper portion I could where it's nice and thick. So what I've done here is I've laid out kind of a crosshair pattern there of 1/2-inch markings. We're gonna cut out a 1/2-inch spiral strip from this, but first we need to soak it. I've just got some warm water here, warm, not hot, and just throw that in there. Probably take about 20-30 minutes, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, been soaking about 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm using scissors. Just want to make this thing really nice. So, got my 1/2-inch marks. I'm gonna go ahead and just get right into it. So I'm gonna start on the slightly thinner side here. Just taper into that 1/2-inch mark and do your best to just gauge it. Trying to keep this in view of the camera here, but you get the point. Just keep spiraling around. I'm gauging the thickness. I'm watching this outer edge the whole time. The marks just kind of help keep you on track, but it's okay if you get a little off or if it's not a perfect circle, because the next step is going to be pre-stretching. Very important. All right, I'll catch back up with you. All right, got our strip cut out, and if I were just guessing, let me stand this up here. Oh, without even stretching, we've got, I'd say about 7 feet of linear length here out of that 10-inch spiral. So just by hand, I'm gonna start stretching this. Now in here, where the spiral is real tight, you know, you get these really curly outer edges, and this is part of why pre-stretching this is so important. There's going to be a good bit of loss in terms of all that curly edge coming off later, but what that's going to leave us with is a perfect rectangular strip from which we will twist the bowstring. So I'm just giving it a rough tug here, and that's that. That's looking pretty good. Just go ahead and stretch that guy out. And then what I'm gonna do is, you know, you can throw it over a tree branch or something. I'm down here in the basement, so I'm gonna go take this over there, and I'll show you the next step. All right, hold on. Okay, that's pre-stretching. I've just got it hung up. Got, I don't know, 30-40 pounds of rock in here. It's just a bunch of flint. The weight at this point isn't so much a deal, you know. as far as the weight of your hunting bow, because we're just trying to keep this thing straight. And as you can see here, it's stretching out nice and even. We'll just let that dry. Once it's dry, we'll come back and trim this down to a uniform, you know, straight strip of hide. So I usually gauge that by the thinnest area. So looks like right in here, that'd probably be right at, I don't know, just maybe a 1/4 inch, maybe a little thicker than that. So we'll cut the whole string. We started with 1/2 inch. We'll cut that down to that 1/4 inch all the way around the thing. I've got a bowline tied here and a timber hitch kind of deal going on this end. You'll find standard knots kind of are funky when you're working with wet hide. So I recommend a bowline. Won't slip on you. But yep, string it up, hang it. It'll probably take, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours to dry, maybe less. But once she's good and dry, I'll show you the next step. Okay, here's our finished pre-stretch, and we ended up with exactly 10 feet. So that's interesting, 10 feet out of a 10-inch spiral at 1/2 inch. And let's take a look at some of our thinnest areas here. This is kind of how we're gonna determine. Okay, that's about 1/8 of an inch, and that was the super skinny thin side to start with. So considering we're probably gonna get 2 strings out of this, let's see. Yeah, right here, here's another kind of thin spot in the middle. It's about 3/8 of an inch. Right there, there's another kind of thin spot. That's about 1/4 inch. So I'm thinking 1/4 inch is going to be a good measure for us to start trimming. So this is the stretch side, and of course we're going to trim off the curly side and get us a nice 1/4 inch strip out of this. And I'll show you the next step when we're ready to twist. Oh, we're going to cut this dry, by the way. Don't soak it. Go ahead and cut it dry, and then we're going to re-soak it, give it one little final tug, and then twist it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this trimmed up. I'll get back to you. All right, here's our finished strapping, and that right there, I mean, even alone without twisting, I mean, shoot, you could hang a horse with that. So what I'm gonna do, I guess I'll start from what would have been the inside of the spiral. And because we cut this, I don't know, what am I trying to say here? The curly side, the side that we trimmed off, we want that to be the inside of the twist. So I guess if we cut a clockwise circle, we'll twist it clockwise. Or no, actually, I cut it counterclockwise, so we're twisting clockwise. But that's all we're gonna do. I start just a little bit of water. I don't soak the thing for any extended period or anything. I kind of just wet it as I go so I can stretch and tease the material with my fingers into the nice uniform spiral. And so what I'm going to do here first is go ahead and twist this up, and then I'm going to tie it to my weight. What I'm going to use as weight when we hang the weight on this thing. So that way it's already secured. Okay. Now this more than likely is going to get cut off anyway, so I'm not super concerned about how uniform this is. Plus, when you hang the final weight on it, it's all going to kind of tighten up anyway as it stretches and then dries. So as long as we got enough distance to tie on here, I'll go a little more. Okay, I'll go ahead and tie this on my crate here full of rocks. I'm just gonna go with a classic timber hitch or a Bowyer's knot. Go around 2 or 3 times. All right, and now we twist. Really lock those twists in, and when you do the final hang, you can give it a couple final tightening twists. But right now, again, this is just really laying the lay of it. That's what it's called, lay in a rope, is how tightly it's twisted and the angle of that, the way the fibers are laying. All right, this is looking real nice. I don't know if you can see that. I'll keep extending out so it's in focus on the camera, hopefully. You guys who do these YouTube videos and all that, I got a lot of respect for how much work can go into these things. But this is a project I've been sitting on for a while, and I had made a photo series showing how to make a 3-ply Groundhog bowstring, and to be honest, it's a little bit overbuilt for my bow, which is 55 pounds. So I'm trying to go for the single ply. Gotta clear out all these twists that end up in the back end of it here. Go ahead and get this all wet. There we go. And you guys get the story here. I mean, we're just twisting rawhide. The rest from here is, you know, you've probably seen other videos of guys making rawhide strings. I've seen one video, a guy making it with squirrel hide, and he just put it in a drill, chucked it up in a drill and started spinning. And I don't know, I guess if you cut your spiral and everything real clean and it stretches nice, that'd work, but I've never gotten that to work without pre-stretching and trimming and, you know, doing all this extra work. It takes some time, but you really want to get that uniform thickness all throughout, and this is going to make a fantastic bowstring. So I'll catch up with y'all when I got it hanging and drying and hopefully shooting. All right, there's the final hang. I'm not too worried about it being strung this way. I've done it linear before, but I've done it this way too, and nothing happens there. As soon as you string it up, it, you know, takes on its final stretch when you get her shot in. But that's it. There's a couple funky spots maybe where the lay isn't absolutely perfect, but I ain't complaining. That's a nice looking string. So there you have it.